We are in Utah. We've stopped at a rest stop and I'm taking a picture of some of the mountain range right across from this rest stop. There's our truck. We've been 2 days now on the road, and we have started in Oregon on Saturday morning, about 10 o'clock. And we drove up through Bend and through Burns and over to Ontario, Oregon. And Ontario is about 26,000 people. We spent the night there. And then we drove through Idaho today. We didn't pick up our film for the camera until just before we got into Utah, so we don't have anything to show you of eastern Oregon, which was really interesting. Most people think of Oregon with trees and rain, and it was hot and dry and big mountains with no trees, just rock. Well, I'll be showing you a little more of Utah a little later on. I've got to go find James and see what's up. James is just coming out of the rest area there, a little information center. Looks like he feels a lot better than when he went in. Did you find anything out?
Well, we're going up to an area
How
called
about
Mountain Land, so there ought to be a lot of mountains to take pictures of.
how far are we? We're just almost into Brigham.
Yeah.
Then next is Ogden. And how far are we from Salt Lake?
45, well, we're 60 miles from here to Salt Lake.
Salt Lake, but we turn off before we get to Salt Lake.
Right.
So we probably won't get any pictures of the salty lake. But we probably should get in the truck and mosey on down the road.
I think we're ready to go.
You ready to roll?
Yes.
Got to stop pretty soon and get that cup of coffee we've been trying to find since 10:30 this morning.
It's been desolate.
Tell them about our scary experience just up the road.
We were going across the plateau just before getting into Utah.
You're squinting.
And I noticed, well, it's bright out here. And I noticed the sign said Ogden was 61 miles. And I know we weren't going to make it. Joanne said she didn't want to walk for the fuel. But fortunately, she came through. She saw a little station along the road. The sign was all rusty and everything. It did sell diesel. So we stopped and filled up a tank. We're lucky. Made it this far. Didn't have to walk. The other tank didn't have any fuel in it. So I blame that on Joanne.
Okay, I can handle it. I got wide shoulders.
Okay.
Shall we sign off for here?
Sign off. Let's go to the next.
Go down to Ogden?
Yeah, get the cup of coffee.
Okay.
Fill up with fuel.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we are leaving Ogden, Utah, and we're starting to go through a canyon. What's the name of these mountains, James?
Wasatch.
These are the Wasatch Mountains. I showed you a little bit of them earlier. And we're starting to go through this canyon headed for Wyoming. And we plan to spend the night in Rock Springs, Wyoming. And it's about 3 hours from here, 181 miles. It depends on how scenic this trip will be, whether we'll stop or not. But we're headed down. Ooh, the roads are rough in Utah. We were just talking about how rough their roads are. Well, that feels better. Okay, we're just on our way. We'll let you know a little more later. Oh, we've stopped along the highway here. We saw something interesting. We've passed a couple interesting things, and we didn't stop. So this time, we thought looks like And get closer here. Just some rocks that are jetting out of this mountain. Pretty interesting. We just made our reservations for tonight. We've got 3 hours to drive before we reach our destination. Just wanting to catch a few of the little sights along here. We've got rolling hills, we've got jagged rocks. So we'll close off for now until we get to something else. It's about, let's see, it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's windy, but it's sunny and it's crisp, and it feels like fall in the air. So catch you a little later. Pretty rocks. Woo, road's rough.
But there's a lot of wind through this area, this canyon.
We're going up a hill, aren't we?
What?
It feels like we're going up a hill.
You're going up the...
What's the name of that place we're staying tonight?
Rock Springs, and it's called Outlaw Inn.
Outlaw Inn. Kind of pretty through here.
Yes, it is. Beautiful. Sort of formations that we're not used to seeing.
It's really red. I hope it shows up good in the video.
I do too.
Well, Jason, we're trying to get a few shots here and there so we can show you a little bit of our trip. I don't know how good of a job I'm doing. It's not too easy to videotape in the truck. But this is just out of Ogden, Utah, heading east towards Wyoming. And I think I'll sign off for now. Stopped along the freeway again. We just are entering Wyoming. We wanted to show you the sign at the port of entry. And so here we are. And it's windy here, going through this big gorge. So we have arrived in Wyoming. Yippee-yi-yay! Giddy up, cowboy! Cowboy, James. Think I found him. Think I found him right ahead of us.
Oh, there he is.
Yippee-yi-yay! Woo! We're on some detour construction area. That's why it's so bouncy. There's the cowboy. Right there on that license plate in front of us.
Yep.
We're traveling in an area where I don't see one tree for miles, miles, miles. All white, almost like sandy. Concrete almost. Or this is what we're seeing. I sure miss my trees, Oregon. I love you. Tell me when you get next to that Volkswagen.
I think you mentioned that we're about 50 miles from Rock Springs.
Yeah, we're about 50 miles from Rock Springs, and I feel like we're on top of the world. few shots of some of the scenery.
It's like we're on the moon.
Yeah, Dad says it looks like we're on the moon. Now, miles, 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 miles of nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Wonder how far it is to the shopping center, John.
Dirt. Oh, yeah. Wonder where the mall is. Not a tree in sight. I can look everywhere and not a tree in sight. This is Wyoming. Giddy up, cowboy. We're just going down the road. I keep seeing things I think I'll take a picture of. Just this big old hunk of rock sticking out. Going up the road. Looks like everything's washed away, and here's this piece of rock standing. Coming to a tunnel. I guess we're gonna go through this big old, what do you call it? Mountain?
Mountain. Plateau, yes.
Hang on, you can ride with us. Get ready to hold your breath. Whoever's watching. Here we go. We're in. How'd you do?
Town here is called Green River.
Green River. There we go. A little civilization around here. It's gonna turn out. It feels like it's getting a little dark. I'm looking up. Some more scenic looking mountains. Might be a good name for those over there.
Spires. There's Amtrak.
Just spotted a train.
Going to Portland.
This is probably going to be a gray and white picture, since there isn't much color around here. Train going down. I think we're going to outrun him. You're not going to believe this, but we have snow. We stayed at the Outlaw Inn in Rock Springs, Wyoming. We told you that last night on the video. And we woke up this morning, and guess what? Hi, James.
Good morning.
Can you believe it's snowing?
My ears are cold. They hurt.
Man, I tell you, this is September the 13th.
We had shorts on yesterday when we came.
I know it. We sure changed to our pants in a hurry. Well, I'm gonna.
Warming up.
We're gonna go have breakfast. We're all ready. We've loaded up the truck. I showed you that car because you could see the snow better. But oh yes, we have a little bit of snow. It is hard to believe. I mean, you know, yesterday we were using our air conditioner, sweating up a storm, drinking Pepsi, and now we're gonna go to warmer clothes and hot coffee. Let's go for breakfast, James.
Let's go.
Bye-bye. Well, we just had breakfast, came out in the truck, and I had to shoot a few more pictures for you here. I found a tree, you guys. Look. I haven't seen a tree for a long time here in Wyoming. And just sitting outside this motel, I spotted a few trees. I guess I'm giving Wyoming a bad time. Well, there's where we stayed. Best Western Outlaw Inn. It's kind of an interesting place. We had a good breakfast. We're sitting out in the truck looking at the map and ready to head down the freeway towards Nebraska. Should be getting into some better weather. Can you see this snow? It is unreal. I can't believe it. I mean, I can think of back home in Salem as a nice sunny day, a nice sunny warm fall day. And here we are in snow. Probably going to get into some more of it. Where did you say we were going, James? Across the Continental Divide?
Yeah, we'll be crossing the Continental soon. And then we want to hopefully end up at either North Platte, Nebraska.
Okay, well, we better get this engine turned on and head down the road. It's ugly here. I don't want to move to Wyoming. Let's get out of here. Giddy up, cowboy! Let's get going. Walked along the freeway. We spotted, what are they, James?
Antelope.
Antelope. And I guess we scared them. They're starting to run away. Oh, there they stopped again. But we're not very close to them right now. They were right close to the freeway. And the sound of the diesel truck must have scared them. Seemed to be real skittish, but we've been driving for miles and miles and miles of flat, straight freeway. And we haven't seen any signs of life, and all of a sudden I spotted these antelope. I'm just gonna kind of take a picture of them here for a little bit. I hope you can see them on this video. I hope we can get a good picture. How many do you think there are, James? Huh?
I'd say 14, 15 in that herd. Looks like 15.
I did see
There,
one
you
with
see
horns.
they're going away. You see their white rumps.
They seem to be real skittish. And there's one with horns.
Yeah, they're running around, making two groups now. Like they're going back to catch the others. Says, "Come on, let's go down."
I hope that this will show up on the
Look, they're taking off again. Man, they are heading out of here.
There they go. I guess they're really scared of us. On more antelope, and this time they aren't running from us. I'll try and get some pictures. It's a lot of them. This is the countryside that we see. Hope I can get them in focus here. There they are. Boy, they got big old white tails. There's lots of them. This is just driving along. They're just out there like cattle. They seem unconcerned with us. There's more in this group. I'm looking for them. Where'd they go? Well, anyway, I guess Wyoming has antelope. And lots of scrub brush. I'll go stand on that rock.
has icicle earbobs, and she thought she'd climb up on that rock, but I see she's changed her mind. Looks like legend has it this rock was here during the time when the first railroad came by, and the engineer would always water it every time they came by, and that's why it survived. It's growing in a solid rock. Well, you can see that we have snow here, and we're about an hour from Cheyenne, and there's supposed to be 2 to 3 inches of snow on the ground. There was a freak storm that came through here last evening and blanketed everything. A little bit of the roadside here going toward Cheyenne to show you the snow that we are experiencing as we're traveling along. We sure didn't expect this.
Noticed along these roads in Wyoming that when you come into a town, they have lots of billboards.
It's like the olden days.
Kind of like the olden days. You don't see this along the Oregon freeways. We're pretty clean. But they have quite a few. I'm just kind of giving you a shot here of some along the road. Kind of litters up the highway. See how many they have? We passed probably 10 or 12 of them before I got the video camera out. They just keep coming. Gives you a good shot of what's coming up, but sure makes the roadside look cluttery and ugly. See, they just keep coming. Just going along the road here in Cheyenne, Wyoming. As we went through Cheyenne a little ways back, I videotaped a refinery. I don't know how that's going to turn out, but I wanted to mention that we have seen several oil wells along the freeway here in Wyoming. We're just getting real close to Nebraska, so I wanted to take a picture of the pumping oil well. And looks like it's doing its thing right along I-80 here. Well, looks like we're leaving Wyoming for the state of Nebraska. Heading right on down the freeway. We'll let you know what we see as we mosey on down the freeway. It's cold out here with that snow on the ground. But here we are in Nebraska. We're leaving the cowboys behind. We're heading for corn country. Well, it's Tuesday morning and we've had a good night's rest. And what's the name of the place, James?
Well, we're going to
No, where we stayed last night.
North Platte.
We stayed in North Platte, Nebraska. Couldn't think of the name. We had a good night's rest in the Comfort Inn. And we woke up this morning to some sunshine, which we didn't have yesterday. And we've been driving along the freeway towards, we're actually going towards Omaha, Nebraska, but we're going to stop before we get there, go to a museum. But I wanted to show you along the road the corn. Actually, I think it's more silage than corn. There are miles and miles and miles of these, and acres and acres and acres of this silage. And we're seeing lots of country that looks just like the Willamette Valley. We feel a lot more at home today than we did yesterday when we were in Wyoming. We see lots of farms, we see trees, we see cattle. Actually, it's nice and green here in Nebraska. And like I say, we feel like we could be going right up the Willamette Valley. And we'll show you a little more of this area as we travel through the state of Nebraska. We have stopped along the highway on our way to Hastings, where we're going to a museum. And we've been seeing a crop, which we didn't recognize. And it's, you can see it there on the sign, it's Seba seed. And this field is really pretty. It must be an experimental field because they have all these different signs along. And there is lots of color. And you might be able to hear some kind of a bug, beetle or bug. I can hear it. See the different coloring as we look across this field? This is Nebraska, and it's windy. You're probably hearing some of the wind, but I wanted to catch the different coloring in this field. Just pulled right in front of me. I don't know what he's going to do, but I didn't see him coming, and here he is. I bet he's going to go right up through the middle of one of those rows of Seba seed. Well, I'll check in close to some of this seed and see so you can see what it looks like. It's got a pretty little tassel right on top. That one is a little different color than over in here. Well, it's different than what we see in Oregon. I've never seen anything like this before. Well, do you see that sign? What it says? The place your friends told you to stop and see. You remember I said that we were going to a museum in Hastings? Well, guess what? The museum is not in Hastings, it's in Minden. So we turned around and we headed back 30 miles from where we had come. Reg Hansen had told us about this museum, and apparently we somehow got wrong information that it was in Hastings. So we've circled back around and we are now going to Pioneer Village. Oh well, what's an extra 30 miles when you're going 3,000? And we're going to get out of this truck and head for the museum and get a little extra exercise by walking around.
What do I mean?
show you the row of the corn. Well, I guess you got it figured out by now. We've just stopped at the Texaco gas station at the truck stop. Gotta do this every once in a while. There's a mess of trucks here. James getting gas, diesel, checking the oil. Hi, James.
Hi. It's a busy place.
Huh? Can hardly hear you for all those trucks. We are in Lincoln, Nebraska. This is where Dwight Nelson is pastoring. He's been here, I think, for quite a few years now. He loves Salem. You are looking at first views of Iowa. We had fully intended in spending the night in Omaha, Nebraska last night after having gone to the museum. And when we got on the freeway and there were so many trucks and cars and it was dark, and we had to look for freeway signs, and we seemed to just shoot right through Ohio. It's one of those busy cities, and we shot right through it and had to keep going, and before we knew it, we were crossing the Missouri River and we were into Iowa. And then there was nothing, no motels, no place to stay, and so we had to drive about 50 miles up the freeway, and it was 10 o'clock before we stopped. And we stopped at a little burg called Walnut at Antique Inn, Best Western. Anyway, it's Wednesday morning and the sun is out. It was kind of frosty when we first got up, but as you look over the hillside here, kind of outside of our motel, you can see that Iowa so far is a lot like Nebraska. We see corn and farms, but we'll know a little more as we travel on down the road. Well, we better get back in the truck and head down the road as far as we can go for today. We don't plan to travel so late tonight. We want to get stopped about 6 o'clock. Well, it's Iowa. There's a nice Iowa farmhouse alongside the roadway. First flowers we've seen in a long time. These are the critters you're hearing. There's an Iowa windmill. Just pulled in here. We're gonna get a cup of coffee to go on the road. And notice that sign, which is so true. We've seen a lot of farming, especially these people's bread and butter here in Iowa. We're looking at the Great Mississippi River, right at the border of Iowa and Illinois. We're standing on the Illinois side of the river, and we'll soon be crossing over the bridge going into Illinois, headed towards Chicago, and we're going to stay in Juliet, Illinois tonight. There's the bridge we're going to be going over real soon. So this side right here is Iowa, and across the bridge, across the mighty Mississippi, will be Illinois. We just got here, so we haven't driven around. I don't know if there was any destruction or not in this area. But we wanted to get a shot, because once we go across the bridge, heading towards Chicago, we won't see the Mississippi again. I think we're going to get a little closer to the water and see what it's all about. I did see a kind of a marina here real close. Lots of boats. Well, let's just go down and see what it looks like a little bit closer. Go slow.
I'm going as slow as I can go.
Bumpy road. I can't get it. Well, we are now standing on the banks on the Illinois side of the bridge. And I'm going to go back over from this side and show you that boat marina where we were over there on that side. Now we're looking across the river from Illinois into Iowa. And I tried to get a picture of the entering Illinois from the bridge as we came across, but it was so bumpy, I don't think I got anything. But anyway, there she is again, the Great Mississippi. And this is not one of the widest points of the river. So this is just a little view of the Mississippi. M-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. I can still spell it. Well, we've got to get on down the freeway so we can get a motel fairly early tonight and get some rest. So we can be all ready to run around and see the sights of Chicago tomorrow. And this is what... We just stopped at our first rest stop in Illinois. And Dad is making a phone call to reserve our motel for tonight in Joliet. And I spotted a tree I've never seen before. It's got little red berries all over it. I hope you can see them. I wouldn't have the slightest idea what kind of tree it is. Oh, it's kind of pretty. Some kind of a tree we don't have in Oregon, because I've never seen it.
I can't watch it now. You're making me nervous. City.
I can't even see it through the view thing.
Oh.
What I mean is I'm taking it, but it's so smoggy. This is Chicago, folks.
The marina's over to the right.
Hmm?
There's a marina out to your right here.
Chicago, folks. Wonderful, smoggy day. There's the Sears Tower, which we're going to later. I think we're going to want out of this city about as fast as we got in it. We'll stick around for a while. After hovering below the buildings. He's actually just
Between
kind of...
them right there.
Yeah, just between the buildings. We don't know why he's there. He had a bucket of something. A rope. I don't know if he's rescuing somebody or what, but you don't usually see a helicopter. Oh, this is just driving along, looking at the city. Definitely not a place I would want to live. A street that goes up in the air after the river is underneath it. Just trying to get a quick shot of another side of Chicago. I guess we've got a train above us?
Yeah.
We're down in some hole.
This is the train.
We have been driving about...
Oh my gosh. Just went there.
Down Chicago, city scenes. Wash the windows. This huge building.
Oh, wow.
Site of the Art Institute of Chicago and the Petrillo Music Show, as well as many of Chicago's biggest summer events, including the blues and jazz festivals and Taste of Chicago. The Art Institute is world famous, and its collections include European and 20th century painting and sculpture, and Oriental and classical art. The collection of French Impressionism is the most comprehensive outside Paris. To the right of the tall red C&A building, you see Buckingham Fountain. Modeled after the Latona Fountain at Versailles in France, the pink marble basin contains 4 groups of sculpted seahorses and holds 1.5 million gallons of water. The entire fountain operates from May 1st through October 1st each year, with a computer-operated color light show each evening from 9 to 11. Below you on the right, in the triangular building with the narrow windows, is the Metropolitan Detention Center, considered one of the up-to-date. In front of you and on the ground is the red sculpture Flamingo by Alexander Calder, creator of the Universe sculpture on the Calder level of Sears Tower. Grant Park, which you see before you on the lakefront, is part of Chicago's 25 miles that border Lake Michigan, the second largest of the Great Lakes. The park is the site of the Art Institute of Chicago and the Petroleum Music Show, as well as many of Chicago's biggest summer events, including the blues and jazz festivals and Taste of Chicago. The Art Institute is world famous, and its collections include European and 20th century painting and sculpture, and Oriental and classical art. The collection of French Impressionism is the most comprehensive outside Paris. To the right of the tall red sea is the net over the top, which prevents a helicopter from taking someone off the roof. Follow the near point of that roof to the silver statue of Ceres, the goddess of grain, which stands on top of the Board of Trade building. The statue has no face, because at the time the building was constructed in 1930, no one thought anyone would ever be high enough to notice. In front of you and on the ground is the red sculpture Flamingo by Alexander Calder, creator of the Universe sculpture on the Calder level of Sears Tower. Grant Park, which you see before you on the lakefront, is part of Chicago's 25 miles that border Lake Michigan, the second largest of the Great Lakes. The park is the site of the Art Institute of Chicago and the Petroleum Music Show, as well as many of Chicago's biggest summer events, including the blues and jazz festivals and Taste of Chicago. The Art Institute is world famous, and its collection in Italy, from which Michelangelo obtained marble from many of his sculptures. Diagonally to the left and toward the lake is the curved black glass Lake Point Tower, the tallest freestanding apartment building in the world. Extending into the lake from Lake Point Tower, Chicago's central city area is called the Loop because of the loop made by the elevated trains and the flights of cable cars around this area. The loop contains the LaSalle Street Financial District and the C Street Shopping Mall, as well as many examples of Chicago and the Prairie School of Frank Lloyd Wright. Two important buildings that are not visible to you are the Rookery, an example of the early Chicago school, and the Monadnock building, the tallest wall-bearing structure in Chicago. Below you on the left, you see the 8-story spire of the Chicago Temple of the First United Methodist Church. Stained glass windows at the arm left of this French Gothic structure depict the history of the church. The tall building diagonal to the right of the church spire is the First National Bank building. The exact stands in the First National Bank Southern Plaza. The white-pointed building of the First National Bank is Associated Center, which has a sloped roof facing the lake on the side. The very tall white building toward the lake is the Emerald Building, the fourth tallest buildings around this area. The loop contains the South Street Financial District and the C Street Shopping Mall, as well as many examples of Chicago's world-renowned architecture, from its classic and Gothic buildings to the distinctive design of the Chicago School, inspired by Louis Sullivan, and the Prairie School of Frank Lloyd Wright. Two important buildings that are not visible to you are the Rookery, an example of the early Chicago School, and the Monadnock building, the tallest wall-bearing structure in Chicago. Below you on the left, you see the 8-story spire of the Chicago Temple of the First United Methodist Church, but anyone would ever be high enough to know. In front of you and on the ground is the red sculpture Flamingo by Alexander Calder, creator of the Universe sculpture on the Calder level of Sears Tower. Chicago's central city area is Grant Park, which What you see before you on the lakefront is part of Chicago's 25 miles that border Lake Michigan, the second largest of the Great Lakes. The park is the site of the Art Institute of Chicago and the Federal Music Show, as well as many of Chicago's biggest summer events, including the blues and jazz. Navy Pier is the Jardine Water Purification Plant, which purifies more than 1 billion gallons of water per day. Chicago's Central City area is called the Loop because of the loop made by the elevated trains and before that cable cars around this area. The Loop contains the LaSalle Street Financial District and the State Street Shopping Mall, as well as many examples of Chicago's world-renowned architecture, from its classic and Gothic buildings to the distinctive design of the Chicago School, inspired by Louis Sullivan, and the Prairie School of Frank Lloyd Wright. Two important buildings that are not visible to you are the Rookery, an example of the early Chicago School, and the Monadnock Building, the tallest wall-bearing structure in Chicago. Below you on the left, you see the 8-story spire of the Chicago Temple of the First United Methodist Church. Which makes it highly resistant to inversion. Chicago's Central City area, an example of Chicago's inspired architecture, high-shaped Also on the U of I campus is Hull House, which was opened as a settlement house in 1889 to serve the needs of the poor urban community. Hull House was the home of Jane Addams, the first American woman to win a Nobel Peace Prize. Stadium, home of the Chicago Bulls basketball team and the Blackhawks hockey team. The stadium has a rich history of special events. Joe Louis and Muhammad Ali both fought at the stadium. Elvis Presley gave one of his last concerts at the stadium. And Franklin D. Roosevelt was nominated for the presidency at the stadium 3 times. 10 miles west of the Loop is the village of Oak Park. These residential buildings are structurally superior in resisting wind pressure and combine to form a self-contained city with shopping, banking, restaurants, offices, a theater, and of course, a marina. 2 buildings to the right of Marina City lies the low-level 5-sided Sun-Times building, the office of one of Chicago's 2 daily newspapers. The ornate white building with a clock in its tower to the right of the Sun-Times building is the Wrigley Building of chewing gum fame. The Wrigley family was originally in the soap business and included pieces of chewing gum in soap boxes, much like the prizes in Cracker Jacks. The gum was so popular that the Wrigley switched from soap to the chewing gum business. The Wrigley Building was the first major building constructed north of the river and the first in Chicago in 1936 to be air-conditioned. The Wrigley family also owned the Chicago Cubs for many years, and Wrigley Field, with its ivy-covered walls and manually operated scoreboard, remains one of the few neighborhood ballparks in the nation. Directly behind the Wrigley Building...
Downtown Chicago, folks. Here's somebody who chained their bicycle with a real sturdy chain. I think he's got about 2 big old padlocks on there. Look at that. I mean, this guy, he wanted to secure his bike. But look, somebody has stole the seats and the tires. Safe city. Makes you feel good. I hope our pickup's safe. In front of the Sears Tower, which we were just in. A couple of limousines, which there's some of them around here. I'll look down the street. It's just one busy city. Oh, the sights and sounds of the city. Nice white limousine. And a big old bus just pulled in front of us. We're going to take this tour bus right here. We're kind of waiting for the next one to come in. And we're going to see some of the sights of the city.
First, 1955 building. The building made like a rocket ship up top a little bit. That's also Prudential. It's Prudential Annex. We've got about 1 minute, okay? 1.5 minutes. The rocket ship looking building is also Prudential Annex. And that's a fairly new building, 1990. Put it up. But this particular building, we put it up in the wrong city. They supposed to have been in Texas. For some reason, they put it up here, and they really pay for it. And used to, in the wintertime, right now, in the wintertime when it snows, they have to rope that section of the sidewalk off because snow and ice just slide down, you know. So it's supposed to have been, I think, in Fort Worth or Dallas, somewhere in that area. Everybody back? So I left a lady here one day. I won't leave nobody today. It's not summertime. Okay, we out of here. Now, when we get to tell you now, museum up here back in 1893, just imagine. And Mr. Field claimed he donated some in front of us. There's another building made out of steel. It's called the CNA Insurance Company, CNA.
It's all it would be like living right there. That's how far away from the water it is.
Best Western. They can't give you a room this way.
Okay, we're going to be leaving Capone, Chicago now. Next stop is going to be the Mercury boats, which won't take no time to get to Mercury boats. And after that would be Sears Tower, in about 8 minutes from Mercury boats to Sears Tower, so you'll be plenty of time. Stop because of the Mercury boat cruise on the right hand side down below. Somebody coming off Mercury.
different papers. Chicago Tribune. 2 different papers. After work hours, everybody's running to and fro, catching buses, catching trains, everybody wanting to get home. Yep, get your paper. You read it on the train. Okay. It's Friday morning. We spent the night in South Bend, Indiana. And before we got on the road this morning, we had to go to a mall so James could get his glasses fixed. And as we drove through South Bend, we discovered that the College of Notre Dame is in South Bend. We passed the Studebaker Museum, and James would have loved to gone to, but it didn't look like it was open. You're looking at the Freeway 90 going down the Indiana Highway. We're 40 miles. We just passed a sign that said 40 miles to Ohio. I wanted to get some shots of Indiana before we leave the state, but I haven't seen anything spectacular to take. We've seen farmland. Freeway seems to be quite clean. It's green and going down the center and on either side.
Well, it's a toll road.
We're on a toll road again. We had to take a ticket, and I guess we pay whenever we get off. It certainly is different than anything we've ever had to do before. We had a good breakfast. We feel good. Looks like we'll be staying in Ohio tonight. The only sunshine we've had on this trip was when we left Oregon, which was nice and warm. And then a little bit in North Platte, after we left North Platte, Nebraska. And other than that, we've been under heavy clouds, solid clouds, all this trip. And we sure could use some sunshine to brighten it up a little bit. Just kind of showing you that it is green through here. There are trees. And it is Friday, September the 17th. It says 9 a.m., but that's wrong. Our clock says it's 11:06. But I think we just lost an hour, so it should be about 12 o'clock. Well, I wish there was something spectacular to show you about Indiana. We don't have time to stop and take any tours along the way. James, didn't you say in South Bend, Indiana is where they make automobiles?
They built the Studebaker.
They built the Studebaker, but isn't that where they build a lot of automobiles?
Well, also a lot of the components for travel trailers and RV equipment. They built an Elkhart, Indiana.
It was a college, South Bend is a college town plus industrial. We see a lot of farms as we go along the road. This is a pretty typical one. Of Indiana, we have discovered they do not have any rest stops along the freeway, but they have what they call service areas, full service areas. And I'm shooting across the freeway because they have them on both sides. They have a Hardee's fast food And then it's more like a truck stop. All the trucks stop here to fuel up or get their rest. We just think it's real unusual that there's no rest areas like we know them in Oregon and other states we've been in. This is the first state we've found where they don't have, you know, regular rest stops. They're all called service areas. I prefer the rest stop to the service area. We're coming to the end of Indiana into Ohio, and we have to pay for having gone through part of Indiana. So I haven't got to show you very much of the state, just what we see along the freeway. I'm sure glad we don't have to pay like this to go on our freeways at home. It slows you down. It's just like going across a bridge, only it's just going on a road. Over the sound of the traffic, can you hear the sounds of the bugs? Crickets? I don't know, whatever they are. It's only 12 o'clock, or somewhere thereabout. But listen. Cross right over into Ohio. Let's see what the name of the river is there. Can you read it? Been wanting to take some pictures here in Ohio, but we haven't gotten off the road except for at a well, they don't call it a service road. They call it, what do they call it, James?
Service road.
Well, anyway, we stopped to go potty a couple times. This is Ohio. Ohio Freeway. Just not a whole lot to show you. It's kind of bouncing around, so I think I'll turn it off. I will tell you, we're just east of Cleveland, headed for Akron. Is it Akron? Akron, Ohio. I think we'll be spending the night in Ohio tonight before we go into the state of Pennsylvania tomorrow. Kind of looking forward to seeing Pennsylvania. I've heard a lot about it. Both sides of the freeway have a line of trees, so we aren't able to visibly see too much. Although we did earlier in the day go through what looked like a valley, and I wished I had taken some pictures of some of the farmhouses because there were a lot of old, well-kept barns. But I kept thinking that we'd pull over and I'd take some without moving on down the road like we are now, and that never happened. So here we are on the freeway taking some shots of Iowa. Excuse me, Ohio. When I was in Iowa, I was calling it Ohio, and now I'm in Ohio calling it Iowa. But let's get it straight. We're in Ohio. Getting closer and closer to the state of Pennsylvania. We sure have passed a lot of trucks today going down the freeway. This must be the main trucking route. Well, there's not really a whole lot to show you on this road except for trees and cars, so I'm gonna turn it off for right now. Well, we just had our breakfast, and this is where we stayed last night at the Holiday Inn. It's in Youngsboro, Idaho. Youngsboro, Ohio. I feel like I can't talk when I get on this video. I get everything all twisted up. But this is where we stayed at the Holiday Inn. We had a real nice breakfast, had a real nice room, very comfortable place. Recommend it to anybody who's driving through Ohio. The Holiday Inn. We're going to be getting into Pennsylvania real soon. I haven't taken very many pictures of this area. So, I guess I better get in the truck and we better mosey on down the freeway. We gotta find a place to get some fuel. Can you imagine, to our surprise, that the Trailblazers are in Ohio? We spotted their bus right along the road here. Go Trailblazers! Oh, just barely got that. Taking my picture?
I'm getting your picture.
Good morning, James.
Good morning.
We just got into Pennsylvania.
Right.
Hey, we've got sunshine today.
Feels good. I can feel it right on my chrome.
Guess what?
Dome. What?
Today's Michelle's 31st birthday.
Today's her. You want to sing happy birthday?
To you, Michelle.
Want to sing happy birthday to her?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Michelle. Happy birthday to you.
I know she heard that.
Oh, yeah.
She'll enjoy seeing this tape.
Yeah, aren't they pretty?
They are
Yeah,
beautiful.
these at home.
What are they?
Oh, I was afraid you was going to ask me. They're flowers.
Okay, posies.
Pretty.
Yes, they are.
We planted them out by the rock out there, alongside the grass.
Is that them? Okay.
They're pretty.
Uh-huh.
So they've got white, light pink, hot pink. I love them.
They're beautiful.
I think maybe we're going to have a good trip through Pennsylvania.
That's what I hear. It's very wooded. Hey, we're on. We're on, Joanne.
Made it to Pennsylvania, James. Made it this far. Got a little ways to go.
Yeah.
It's been a fun trip, hasn't it?
Great. Real good trip. Logic is really good by it.
Feels a lot better now that we have sunshine.
Yeah, the sun is beautiful.
Okay. See you later.
Zoom in on it.
We just now, after going through a little town, we took a little detour off of our freeway. It's called New Wilmington, and we're headed for the Amish communities in this part of Pennsylvania. They don't particularly like to have their pictures taken, so I feel a little shy with this camera, but you already saw one carriage along the road, and we should be getting to more. We're going to see what we can take on this video. without imposing upon their beliefs too much. So this is the little town of Wilmington. Ahead of us is one of the Amish buggies going down the road. We'll be coming right behind it.
Soon the horse saw their legs flop back and forth.
This is the way that they come and go to town. They don't believe in driving cars. I guess we just go around it, James?
Yeah.
Remember,
Get off, put it in.
go ahead and talk.
Looks like they have a wagon. They're bringing in their corn or something. And the workers have their wagon and horses.
I want to show you along the road here how worn it is. If you can see on both sides of the road, you can obviously tell that it's a buggy route. And in a little brochure that we received in this area, it says that parking and hitching are both free. So if you care to hitch your buggy, it won't cost you anything. What that sign?
It's like a tourist place.
We're in the Allegheny mountain range, and we're seeing a lot more color along the road. Than we have been seeing. I'll try and find some of the pretty red maple along the road here. Some spots. It's probably just a little bit early. They're just starting to turn. Pennsylvania, so far, is a beautiful state. Good roads, nice rest stops, mountain ranges,
55 miles an hour.
but we can only drive 55 miles an hour. That's their speed limit.
Max. There's the red.
Isn't it pretty going along there? We are in Du Bois, Pennsylvania. Wanted to stop and get a postcard for my friend Gail Du Bois and send to her. Funny looking squash. Look like a bunch of ducks. Aren't they funny? Back on the freeway after being in Du Bois. And we're still in the Allegheny Mountains. James, what was a song you said you recognized?
Allegheny
Remember?
Moon.
Yeah, there's a song we remember from when we were back in our high school days. It says something about the Allegheny Mountains.
No, Allegheny Moon.
Oh, Allegheny Moon. That's right. It's really a pretty day, but we're not making very good time today. We've stopped too many times. That's pretty, that yellow. Good freeways. We're moving right along.
You didn't get it, did you?
No.
Good morning, Joanne.
Morning. Bear's in pretty bad shape.
He looks like he's really been to the mill. What are you saying there?
I'm just thinking I'm glad the sun's out today.
Right. You have your shorts on today. That's good.
A little warmer than it has been.
Yeah. This is the first sunshine we've had in a long time. Well, let's head up the road. Great song. Someone has stayed behind.
Well, it appears that the Canadian we're in New York. We weren't able to stop and take a picture at the entering New York because of the traffic, and it was in a bad spot. A rest stop, and we saw this guy here. So we've got proof that we're in the state of New York now. We just saw one of these boogers pull someone over right in front of us. Kind of a scary experience. About it was not us. So far we haven't had any encounters with cars that look like this. We are in the state of New York. a few roadside shots as we go down the freeway. See, they do have some mountain ranges. I'm looking across the freeway over there. I don't know what it is, but there's some mountains. Just freeway scenic pictures here. People everywhere we've been, coming and going. There's McDonald's. Everywhere we go, we see the golden arches.
Well, I got that way.
Make anybody sick on this. Obvious we're going across the bridge. We're coming to a toll road. Can't go any further, we have to stop. It's one of these roads where you have to pay to go across it. Something we don't have to do in Oregon.
This could just be the bridge that we're paying. Look how green it is in the water down here.
I don't know about the water, James, but I've noticed that so far the state
That's a green algae.
is a green state. Soon be leaving the state of New York, coming into Connecticut, which sounds pretty good to us after being on the road for 7 days.
Did you get that color of the trees right there?
I think so. We're kind of in the mountains. It's really pretty through here. Very, very scenic. Very pleasant. Anything after going through Wyoming, getting into trees is nice.
About the 1955 Special Olympics. Alright, well, we made it.
We finally made it. It's a long way. I wanted to take a picture along the road here of the church. Pretty bumpy, I hope it doesn't. What we're seeing. Woo, the roads are a little bit bumpy through here. was nice talking to Jason a few minutes ago on the mobile phone. I guess he and Charisse are going over to the beach boogie boarding. We're glad that he can have a day to have some fun. I sure feel bad about Cinnamon. I wished he'd get well. He's had quite a little setback. Well, this is just some of the terrain that we see going through Connecticut. We're anxious to get over to the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. It's a beautiful day. We're in shorts. What time is it, James?
It's 1:54, 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. We've got a couple other roads to get on off of this one, and then we'll be down by the beach.
Uh-oh, there's a wreck up here.
Looks like we're coming to some kind of an emergency. Or something. Is it a wreck?
I don't know, the police has.
Maybe somebody just got stopped. Just truck problems, I
It's just-
think.
Yeah.
Just normal highway freeway stuff. When you go through an area like this, you see license plates from so many different states. It's not like when you're in Oregon, you see Oregon, California, Washington, and maybe one or two along the way from other states. Here you see New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Maine, Pennsylvania. What are some of the, Minnesota. It's like, you know, you stop at a rest stop and you may see 10 different license plates. And we're the only Oregon license plate we have seen since we started
I think I went the wrong
from
way,
Utah.
Joanne. Well, I think we found the right road. It was a little confusing back there. We did make that turn, but the road wasn't well marked, and we had to get turned around. We probably got about 6 miles out of our way. Went through a little area called Middletown.
And we've also passed Portland.
Yeah, there was a, that's right. Did we go into Portland?
We were right close to it. Portland.
Very close to Portland.
Yeah, Portland, Connecticut.
Finally got on Highway 9 going south down to a freeway that runs along the coastline. And so, well, in fact, there's a sign right there that says Highway 9 South.
Okay, I'm going to turn it off
So
now.
I'm glad. I feel good now. We found the right road.
Guess what? We found old Clinton. There he is, right there along the freeway. Hi, dude.
We're getting
Just
there.
a few more miles.
About 3.
Kind of bumpy. First shots of the Atlantic Ocean, right? There's a bridge going across the Groton. This is our first sightings. Groton Town Line. We have found the retirement residence. It's called Buddington Square. And we're going to drive in and give you a shot of what we've seen. And James is going to talk a little bit about it. We're in Groton, Connecticut. We have found our building. We don't even have a motel yet. So we're going to have to do this real quickly so we can get us a motel. Crazy bird hasn't even flown away and we're sitting right next to him. Goodness, I can look eyeball to eyeball. What kind of bird that is, James? Diesel. And he hasn't even flown away. I mean, we couldn't be how many feet from him?
Oh, that's no, 6 feet, 8 feet.
I guess birds are friendly around here, James. Look at his long tail.
Service center. We finally found it. It was a little hectic getting off the little narrow roads, but here it is. Windows all boarded up and landscape overgrown. And the office is right. It's been 5 years since this thing's been lived in. And it doesn't look like it's been broken in, but we're going to have a job fixing and cleaning.
Pretty good size.
It's big. It's a big retirement center.
Looks like all the upper floor is intact as far as windows go,
Well,
James.
this end here has Venetian blinds, so it's been finished.
Did anyone ever live here?
Well, I understand they had it open for a little while.
Or the guy must be sick.
Can you
Be
imagine?
gone broke.
Can you imagine not only the construction fees, but the revenue from the rent
For
on
5
this?
years.
For 5 years.
I'm surprised it hasn't been vandalized.
I know.
The landscape certainly needs to be worked on.
This is the end that's unfinished inside. And we're going to divide rooms up and everything.
You can kind of see that they've boarded up the bottom. They've boarded up the bottom of the... Okay, keep going around. Of the center. This would be the
This is the main entrance.
entrance. Oh my.
It's going to need painted.
And we are supposed to try and rejuvenate this.
Rejuvenated is right.
Well, I think we better get on out of here and find ourselves a place to stay tonight.
I do too.
This is what looks right out front. James says he's going to get the landscape going right away. See, it's, goodness, James, this is nice, so the roads are all in.
Yeah.
You know, you could be in and out of this place maybe 3 months.
You never know.
Get a big crew going,
Right.
be home.
Yeah.
Bill wants you out of here by December the 20th.
What he said.
Right across the street on this other road is a, looks like a mobile home park.
Right.
I'm surprised they didn't put a gate across this road. Just a minute, because Okay. We've been in Groton for 6 days now. And we're going to take 95 going north. And we've already come to Rhode Island. It's just a few miles from Groton, Connecticut. But we just wanted to stop here along the road, show you we're going through Rhode Island. And it's not very big, so we'll probably be in Massachusetts real soon. We've noticed just the few miles we've traveled to Rhode Island that the color in just a week's time is really changing. Well, we've got lots to show you around the area, but we've put the camera down for 6 days, so now we'll start trying to take some pictures for you of the country back here where we are. We just had breakfast here at the Holiday Inn. We are outside of Providence, Rhode Island. We'll be getting into the city real soon, and we know it would be real busy. We hadn't had breakfast yet. We stopped and had a lovely breakfast. They always put on a nice breakfast. It's called The Crossing, this area right here. We haven't learned why. But there's one of their limousines here at the Holiday. I bet it would be pretty spendy to stay in this place.
$85 a night.
Well, that's not too bad.
125 high
Really?
for a queen.
We'll be coming back through here because this is where I fly out of, Providence, Rhode Island. Breakfast was good, and we're ready to get back in the car and start on down the freeway. So, some pretty flowers. It really is a nice day here today. I have shorts on, and James has short sleeve shirt on. And we're looking forward to a nice day along the beach at Cape Cod. See you later. Looking at Providence, Rhode Island. We're on the freeway. Gonna make an exit real soon. And I believe we turn towards New Belford or something like that. Boy, the road must be rough. Just giving you a sight of what we see as we go down the road. This must be the capital, James. Is it the capital of Rhode Island? The horn must have been for us. There's your exit sign. I hope this won't make somebody sick seeing this. There's our exit. Going to Cape Cod. Doesn't that sound funny? Well, we missed the sign entering Massachusetts, but that's where we are. After we left Providence, we got right into Massachusetts. What river are we crossing?
I don't know, it's St. Paul River.
Oh, Fall River. It's a big bridge we're going over. I wished I could show you the town. Very, very pretty. This bridge isn't so wonderful, but what we've been seeing outside is very pretty. Dad, I'd like to go to Hyannisport while we're in the Cape Cod area. Maybe we can get a shot of the Kennedy compound there, where we've always heard so much about where they take their vacations at Hyannisport. It's real close. It's part of the Cape, but it is, you know, a little different direction. You have to make a special detour to get there. But who knows what the day will bring. It'll be kind of fun. Maybe we see old Teddy and his new wife out on the beach. We're seeing some change in the coloring of the trees than when we were traveling a week ago. The reason we mention it is because everybody talks about the color back here. It's kind of like going from Salem up to Detroit in the fall. You can see there's lots of trees everywhere we look. I don't think we've seen any open fields anywhere. The only openness that we see is when there's a waterway, and there's lots of water here. You see trees, but then we would come to inlet or something, and it's just all water. So it's really a very beautiful area. Rochester. We're at a Massachusetts rest stop. They certainly take on a different look than our rest stops in Oregon, or some that we've come through along the freeways. This is their bathrooms at the rest stop. Far cry from our nice Oregon stops. I think if we wait, we might see somebody we know come out of there. Uh-oh, caught him spitting.
Let me get some information. Hammer away.
I got you spitting.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing?
Well, I didn't want you coming so close.
Okay, come on. Let's go in and get some
You know what
information.
Jason would say?
I don't know.
We're looking at a bridge that's drawn. I don't know, it could be a train bridge. We just kind of pulled off the road here. If we can see, it's up. We are in Hyannisport, and you're going to think all we do is eat, but by the time we got here we were hungry. So we just had lunch at the Black Cat. We didn't have any spirits, but we had food. We had a big platter of nachos, which was delicious, and we sat right out there. It was a little bit cool, but we had a good time. It's really pretty here. Wind's kicking up. Now we're gonna go scout around and see what there is here. First thing we did was eat. So, better go find James. We had a good lunch. We're going to take this boat out so we can see Hyannisport. We're supposed to be able to see the Kennedy Vacation Complex and all, so I sent James on up there to get a seat. He's going to sit down right there. That's going to be fun. I'm up on the boat now. It's like a big boat just came in, or either just going out for a fishing boat. I see a lot of fishermen on that boat. Oh, looks like they're getting off. I wonder if they caught any fish.
What's up today?
can't tell.
Now, Governor Brown did serve at one time as a car ferry from Highness and Nantucket. And Baxter's did begin as a fish packing shed and wrap up, so we may enjoy a fine cocktail while overlooking the harbor's activities. Now, if you're in the front of bow section of the boat, the small lighthouse you see off to our right is the Channel Point Light. It is a non-working lighthouse. It was built as a replica of the Bram Point Lighthouse located in Nantucket Island. It is identical but at a smaller scale. Now looking off to our right, this area of land is known as Fish Hills. In the early days, the Indians would bring the fish they had caught, cook and clean them, leaving their remains in heaps or memorial for veterans. When you get off the boat, take a left onto Ocean Street, and it is about a half mile on your left. Now if you look to the far left,
Yacht Club.
Every weekend.
Very windy.
Some of the old large regattas, such as the Valley Race and Highness Regatta. Now at the tip of Great Island, you will see a Barthy, who was president of the Motel 6 chain. Now the home was actually built in 1916 for the late Thomas Taggart, the Indiana senator. Now many people often mistake this home to be part of the Kennedy compound, but it is not. Kennedy. His widow Ethel does still live here, and did turn 103 this summer. Now in 1986, Rose sold the home to Massachusetts Senator Edward Kennedy for the large sum of $1. Now looking just to the right of Rose's home, set back behind some trees, you'll see a skinny white chimney, marked number 4 on your map. This home belonged to the late President John F. Kennedy. Now this is not the home used for some. Now the 3 homes I just pointed out to you, the late senators, the late ambassadors, and the late presidents make up the famous Kennedy compound. Now looking above the compound, you will see a stone castle, known as St. Andrews by the Sea, and is sitting upon a hill known as Sunset Hill. Now St. Andrews was dedicated in 1911, and there is a church in Scotland that bears the same name. Now if you follow Sunset Hill all the way down to the left, you'll see a large white home with 4 windows facing us, marked number 7 on your map. This home belongs to Eunice Kennedy Shriver and Sergeant Shriver, head of the Peace Corps during the Kennedy administration. Now during the summer months, Arnold Schwarzenegger does spend some time here, and he does have a boat named the Terminator. Now looking to the left of the Shriver residence is a causeway dotted by telephone poles. This causeway leads over to an island that is known as Squaw Island. If you look to the far left of Squaw Island, you'll see a home overlooking the bay, marked number 8 on your map. This home belongs to Louis Toone, and Mr. Toone is the inventor of pantyhose. Now counting 2 homes to the right of Mr. Toone's home, you'll see a skinny white chimney in the roof line, flagpole flying in front, and a very large tree just to the right of it. Mark number 9 belongs to Joan Kennedy, and it's formerly the home of Senator Edward Kennedy. Now in the middle of the island, you'll see a home with 2 chimneys in the roof line, marked number 10, belonging to the late Morton Downey Sr., singer on the radio in the 30s and 40s. Now, this home was the original house that President Kennedy used for his summer White House for two reasons. Since there is only one road leading to the island and a very rocky shoreline surrounding it, it made it easier for his Secret Service agents to maintain their surveillance. Now, this will complete the commentary. Cat will now circle in for a closer look, and I'll be around to answer any
Picture of that would be really good, really. Nice if you pick those. Yeah, quite far away.
folks have any questions.
This is John F. Kennedy's home, the house with the dormers.
And then Robert is the one.
Okay, then I'm going to move, that's John F. Kennedy's house.
They go over and see the one of the 3, 4 picks right there to the left of it. That's Robert.
Wait a minute, I went too far.
Go straight into it, right below the church.
Just a minute. Okay, the one, that's actually the Kennedy family, Joseph Kennedy's home. Right there. John F. Kennedy's home again, back there. That is the original Kennedy home. Sold to Ted for $1. That is one of the Kennedys right behind it. The church. James just bumped me.
You might mention the one up the islands, what he used when he was the president.
They heard that.
That's okay.
It's a very windy day out here. There's the telephone poles again. And there's the island. There's the home with the two chimneys where the president would hold some of his official gatherings, or non-official.
Side of the boat, you'll see a blue hull sailboat moving quite along there. It is named the Maya, which stands for wind, and it does belong to Ted Kennedy.
Oh, it belongs
Now,
to
just
Ted.
following that boat, you'll see a white hull powerboat. That boat did belong to famous author Ernest Hemingway. It does not belong to him anymore. Some of its boat belongs to local businessmen.
Ted Kennedy's boat. How about that? Do a lot of fishing over here along this breakwater. Everywhere you go, fishing. We're rocking, but I'm trying.
Welcome back to Your Highness in the harbor, ladies and gentlemen. ECAP does have a few small requests before we tie up. If you now please find a seat or remain seated. If you're on the right side of the boat, please keep your arms and hands inside the railing so occasionally you brush.
I don't think you got that.
Don't.
Well, Joanne and I walked up to the President John F. Kennedy Memorial, and we want to get this picture before we go on when she's retiring from picture taking. So we have a large group here waiting to look at it, so this will be kind of a short picture.
Guys want to take and I'll take one of you guys.
Or you want the park bench. Then you might put it on the park bench. This is our hotel.
Are in the little community that we were looking across from the ship. And I just found the U.S. Post Office in Hyannisport, Massachusetts. This is where the Kennedy family is from, and we're right down in their community, and we haven't found the house, but we're going to go looking for it. Just wanted to show you. This is a picture of St. Andrews by the Sea in Hyannisport. All stone. Looks kind of deserted. I'm not sure that they use it. But this is what we saw when we were out on the boat looking towards it. Now we're just below it. I wish you could see this. I wish we didn't have a car behind you.
Deal out there at one time.
Don't be
She's
too
taking
anxious.
pictures.
Huh?
She's taking pictures too.
Who?
That lady in the red outfit.
Well, we need to ask. That's the Kennedy compound. We're looking down a little lane that we can't drive down. We've seen limousines sitting around. There is a flag flying right in front of the house. Okay, a little faster. Okay, that's it. Now slow down. I just loved this place as we went by earlier. Oh, it's just wonderful. Look at that. Right on the sea, too. Can you imagine what it would cost to live here? No, just stop at the stop sign and I can get it. I think the lighthouse goes with the house. Yeah, it's all together. Just a pretty place along this road in Hyannisport. I thought it was kind of nice. There is this massive ship coming in. Gorgeous, fantastic. It's probably been over to Washington, Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard. I think he was telling this boat to get out of the way. Here he comes.
There it is. By far.
See what the name of it is. Great Point. She's taking a turn. Maybe she's coming right in where I am. I think she's going to back up. Must be a lot of people on that boat. little bit bigger boat than we took a while ago. Oh, here's a beautiful old tug. She's coming home. Can't help but think of my dad when I see all these boats. He loved the water, he loved the ocean, he loved to look at boats. He would have loved to have seen this video. But I just keep him close in my heart when I think about him and all that I see.
Yeah, I can tell.
Oh, looks like that ship's about back into play. That noise we're hearing is that thing right up there. Look at it. Just a singing. Well, this Cape Cod, Hyannisport area is pretty interesting, pretty exciting. Lots of action, history. Well, it's Tuesday morning, September 28th, and the building is taking on a little different look. We've taken off the boards. Oh dear. I'm shooting the wrong way. We've taken off the boards off the outside. But what I want to do is go inside and show you what the inside looks like. So I'm going to walk right up this walkway. The young man taking care of some of the wood out front. Going right through the double doors in the front. The first thing you see is the stair casings, which we're not sure if they're going to leave the brass. You look upstairs. And there are some chandeliers. You look over to the fireplace. There was some furniture left in the building, and not very much, but this is looking straight out where they're going to build a new dining room. I'm standing right in the entryway, so I'm going to have to swing around to show you. We've taken up some carpeting. All the carpeting's coming out. And we did tear up some already. This is in the lobby. There are drapes, probably will all come out. There'll be a lot of redoing. Okay, there is a library. I'll walk into the library. I hope this is going to show up. I spent some time in here writing some letters for a few days. Like I said, some of the furniture was left in the building. It's really not too bad, but I know it'll be gutted. All the drapes and furnishings will be taken out, redone. Through those doors right there, that's looking back outside. And there's the office. There are two nice office rooms. This is one. I'm off of this one, but the sun is shining through the window and I know I won't get a very good shot. This is what they called their dining room. It's not very big. And right out through those doors there, we'll be pushing the building out, making a dining room what our facilities are used to. Colors aren't too bad, but you can see how badly the carpeting job was. And this building's only just a few years old. We've been told that the builder had $14 million poured into this building. And Bill purchased it for $2 million. Okay, I'm going to take you inside of our apartment. I worked all day yesterday cleaning it up. And we'll go right into the living room. We found this furniture upstairs in one of the apartments. We don't know if the people left it or if it was a showroom. But anyway, we have a sofa and 2 tables and 2 chairs. And we have air conditioning over there behind that chair. And I hope the sun is not going to be too strong for this. Kitchen, we found a little microwave in the big kitchen of the facility, and we brought it in our room. And we have a refrigerator and cupboards. And I spent quite a bit of time yesterday. It wasn't really too bad, but you know, still had to get the crummies out. So that's our kitchen. I hope that'll show up. It's just a regular bedroom, but we in one of the rooms, and James is going to use it for his underwear and such. A little bathroom, which I cleaned up yesterday. Hi, Joanne. This is fun. Anyway, how you doing, sport? Having a good time? Yep, I know you're going to be glad to get home. Can hardly wait. See ya.
I just came in, John.
Okay. Driving along, saw this wagon with these big pumpkins. We're out looking for a place to eat our dinner tonight. Isn't that something? Look at that great big old pumpkin on that wagon. We thought it was really cute, so we turned around and came back. Something I'd like to have out front of my house. That is great.
Hold it in there.
This is Bob and James. Bob's going to be, he and his wife Ruth are going to be the managers here at Wyndham.
I just made another sheet. I get so much stuff on this. If I'd have known what I was doing.
We went out for dinner last night and had a grand time.
Graphic, I could have done it, but maybe.
But you see, the plumber that we're going to get for this would need to know how many hooks he needs to set.
Well, they're trying to get these keys
Sinks, labs,
set up for this building.
They're probably all hooked up. It's just the
They're
lab.
busy at work here.
That part, I think we'll just assume that it's
I'm going to show you what's happened here in just a few days. The automatic doors behind me are going open and closed, but all the carpet has been taken out of the facility. You'll see a big change from when I showed you the other day. Carpets are out. This is the library that I showed you the other day. All the furniture's been taken out and the carpeting is gone. Another shot looking out to the front doors. As you can see, again, some progress is being made. This is our office. I'm back in the corner, so I'll just give you a shot. There's where James's desk is. Corner. Just trying to give you an overall view of what's happening around here. There's James using the old copy machine already. Well, one thing we've seen a lot of here in this area is a lot of old graveyards. Born September 1781 and died in 1863. These graveyards that we see, and there are many of them all over. Some of them are very small graveyards, but they all have the upright tombstones. This one caught my eye. It's on the way to Mystic, which is a nice little community that we've enjoyed. This is a beautiful old church in Mystic. I don't think I can even get all of the steeple as I go up like this. It's just... Baptist Hill, Mystic, 1924. This is the seaport of Mystic. Mystic is 5 miles from where we are in Groton. I'm running out of tape, so I'm going to try and move quickly along here so that I can get everything I want. I'm standing on one side of Mystic looking across to the other. There is one street that has all kinds of little gift shops. Reminds me a lot of Mill Valley where Michelle lives. I know she would love it here. There's a bridge you go across that is a drawbridge, and it goes up every 15 minutes after the hour, and I think we're about to that time. I want to go back and take another shot of the church, but I want to wait till this bridge goes up, so I think I'll walk around to the town and then I'll take the bridge from looking straight on. This is one part of the little street looking back up to the church that I showed you earlier. I enjoyed going in that little shop across the street. Had fun over there. This happens every hour.
Ice cream you want? What, vanilla or chocolate?
There's a second boat that just came through. That's the reason why the bridge went up.
Very little fort.
The other night we were out here and this huge, massive ship went through. Well, the bridge is just about down. Cars are starting their engines again. The houses around here are just beautiful. Old, well kept, most of them dated. Have dates from the 18th, some of them the 17th. I'm parked on this street and I just thought I'd take a picture of the neighborhood. I'm on the other side of the river now. I've been all over this little village today, just kind of looking at the little shops. And I wanted to show you, again, some of the quaint places. Looking the opposite direction than I was earlier. It's gotten kind of dark. The sun is shaded through here. Love to see the American flag flowing. I'm just kind of going in a circle. Well, you wanted to know what it looked like around here. This was the best way I could think to show you. I'm going to take one more shot of the church. There are many, many steepled churches in this area. The wind is blowing on me. Having a hard time holding the camera still. Well, I wanted to show you our little apartment now that I've kind of found some things to make it look more like home. I showed you earlier, but it was before I decorated it. I've kind of found some stuff here and there. Found a picture up in the craft room. It's kind of cute. Something to hang on the wall. Found a puzzle, brand new puzzle we're going to put together when I get back. There's our sofa. Found 3-piece end table set. Really nice. Somebody must have left it here. Some magazines. We have our own telephone. And as you can see, we have a TV. Went out and bought a second-hand TV. And we don't have any reception here yet, but we will eventually.
Hi, Joanne.
Getting ready to go to church. Hope you can find the church.
Well, we have some directions, but it's hard to get over that bridge.
You're kind of slow this morning, aren't you?
Yeah,
Smile. Say hi, Jay.
I had a nightmare last night.
Look here, we even have a pumpkin. Trick or treat. Well, we have a pretty nice little place here. Yeah, I got the door to our apartment open, so you're looking over across into one of the unfinished apartments. Well, our bedroom looks a little cozier than it did earlier. We found a chair we stuck in here, and again, a table dresser we found. Up this bed. It's just a plain old bed, but it's doing the trick. Something to sleep on.
Here comes Joanne. She needs to get in the photograph in the movie. She's always taking the pictures, and we never get in. Yes, hi, good morning. Yeah, it's bright out and warm today.
Look at my pretty flowers I picked. Actually, they're weeds.
Yeah, you did good.
I went around and picked all the weeds that are around here.
Right.
And boy, the bees are really enjoying
Well,
it.
don't get stung. We don't want you stung.
No. Anyway, this is our apartment.
And the back door.
All our weeds.
Yeah.
Around. Big, tall weeds.
There's a roadie right there, I think. It needs
This one's mixed in with weeds.
watered.
I've got the map, so we're going to go to church, and then we heard about a little area that has a lot of old shops.
Okay.
Kind of like Aurora.
Okay, we'll do that.
We better get going.
Okay, I'm going to show her the porch is just above our apartment.
This place is empty.
We are the only one in this big complex. We stay in, this is our house.
Hey, show them the wooded.
Probably showed the front of this house, this retirement center. We stayed here, this is our second night, alone in this big mansion. All across the way you can see how wooded it is. It's undeveloped. Got a big job of landscape. But all this will get fixed up. That's the main road coming in. So, down there in all those woods are supposed to be the sign somewhere. Well, I'm going to turn this off so we can get on our way. We're all dressed. It's nice and warm today. You can see it's sunny. Goodbye. We'll see you later.